Okay, so I won't lie when I say that I was honestly procrastinating like really hard in making this video, just due to the fact that I am just so tired of having to deal with subjects like this. Watching groomers make like 20-minute response videos where they just like whine and cry and downplay and make nothing but excuses gets really old really fast, and it's even more bothersome when the like to dislike ratio looks like this at the time of recording. I mean, I hope it gets better over time, and by better I mean more negative, but the fact that this was like a thing in the first place is kind of troubling to me. The guy literally admitted to it. He said, yep, I did all of these things in both the video and his initial response, and he's still getting support. Absolutely nuts. Anyways, I'll talk about that mess later in the video, but for now, I'm just going to go over Len's response, not in full because it's 16 minutes long and I simply don't have the time or energy to deconstruct it point by point, but I will hit as many key parts of it as I can, and if you're not up to date with this ordeal, I made a video on it a little while ago covering the initial response, so I'll link that in the description and the pinned comment. Sorry, I sound kind of dead. Let's go. So like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I really just do not have the time or energy to go through every single point made in this nearly 20-minute video, so I've just chosen a select few to discuss, starting with this clip here.
Referring to the day the exposed video was uploaded, of course I started panicking and tried to explain myself through community tabs. Though I may have caused more misunderstandings and ultimately fail to convey the message I wanted to give. I deleted these explanations about the exposed video and simply left a very straightforward response, which is still up until now. To combat against the opinions or comments related to the event, I deleted all of my community posts, disabled comments in my video, and deactivated most of my social accounts.
So he was lying about accidentally deleting those posts. I find it very hard to believe that he just wrote out like pretty much an entire essay about what he had done and then accidentally hit the delete button, but instead of reposting the entire thing like, you know, you would have done if it was an accident, he just swapped it out with one that was like a sentence long. I think he purposely deleted them because they were extremely in-depth into the things he was accused of and had admitted to, so he panicked when he realized that he essentially shot himself in the foot and then removed, the more incriminating post in favor of an incredibly vague statement that has pretty much no context. To anyone seeing it without, any prior knowledge, he probably did panic and then write that entire thing, but, he probably deleted it because it looked really bad. While I don't agree with immediately forgiving someone once allegations come out, people, especially fans of someone, are more inclined to be on your side if you're very non-committal to saying what you did. It was an obvious attempt at damage control, and, he still didn't show the initial post in the video, nor did he explain why the second post was so bare bones. So I'm assuming the reason why the second post was so lackluster was because, it wasn't exactly anything he could spin in his favor. Anyways, moving on.
Yes, she confessed to me through call. The only evidence I could find that's at least related to this is the date, February 25, 2020. So what happened in that call is that she confessed, she said she loves me. I replied to this with, I love you too, but you're too young. I've mentioned this over and over in that same session to the point it got awkward. This is also evident in the shown evidence and the fact that I was also facing my own problems as well.
And that's his first mistake. He knew she was too young, so he never should have said that he loved her back. That should have been like an immediate no, and the part where he tacked on the fact of her age at the end doesn't really negate the fact that he still said that he loved her, and hearing that from somebody who she likely idolized, the victim would have taken that extremely seriously, and it's evident that she did. If someone professes their love to you, and not only do you have no intention of returning the feelings, but you also know that they're out of your age range, it's just an immediate turn down, and saying I love you back isn't exactly a turn down if you ask me. There are many polite ways to turn down somebody's romantic advances and still be clear that you want to stay on platonic good terms. And, it was on this guy to handle the situation better, considering that he was the adult in the situation.
June 13, 2020, my birthday. On that day, I was very busy all morning until night came. As I recalled, she offered to give me those explicit images. In my perspective, it really gave me so much mixed feelings since this person made so much gifts, helped me out, and such. I did not really think it through, so I just accepted it. But then I slowly got interested about this. Over time, then I started to like it.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the
The fact that he said this and that people saw, heard, and processed it and then still decided, yep, I'm going to like this video and post a supportive uwu comment just astounds me. I don't know where to start with this clip, to be completely honest. First of all, making fan art and little gifts for someone is not on the same playing field as sending lewd photos at all. If someone who I was friends with, someone who regularly made fan work for me, just out of the blue offered their lewds, it would be an instant no, like no questions asked, decline. Even if I was an adult, I would decline that, especially if I knew that they were like a fan of mine and also much younger than me. Absolutely no mixed feelings, I have no idea why there would be. The fact that he didn't really think it through and then automatically accepted is just like a huge fucking problem, because that right there is a red flag big enough to cover the goddamn moon. Like I just said, if somebody who not only looks up to me but is also very underage offered me an inappropriate picture, my first instinct would be to decline that, not fucking accept it, you goddamn weirdo. And it's not to say that there should be some like big deliberation over whether or not to accept them. I feel like the appropriate response to getting an offer like that from someone who you know is so much younger and also idolizes you should be an instant no from anyone with any good faith. He then goes on to admit that he liked it, which is just very creepy. Like, how are you not only going to admit to receiving inappropriate photos from somebody who you knew was underage, but then go on to admit that you enjoyed them and expect anything good out of it? But I guess some of these fucking bozos just either skipped right over that part or are literally just incapable of rational thought because he's still getting support. And it's just in one ear without the other, no obstacles between point A and B with some of these guys, I swear.
Moving on. This is during or around the time that this is referred in the exposed video. There's a point where she mentioned these. This is really one of the biggest mistakes I've done, because I agreed to continue. I guess I was swayed of how deep our relationship was, so I ended up going for it. It didn't really end well for us since this became into a very toxic relationship. That includes the screenshot of me doing something explicit in the exposed video.
Again, this guy is the adult here. He had full control to not take this any farther than it already had been taken. I don't know what he thinks everyone else is like, but I personally and a lot of other people don't accept proposals from somebody who we know is too young for us. I can be friendly with a 10-year-old, but that does not mean I'll start dating them if they ask. It was his responsibility to shut this down. No matter how friendly they were, you can still reject somebody without there being any animosity. I really have to reiterate this. No matter how awkward a situation is or how long you've known somebody, if you're an adult and your minor friend propositions you, you decline it no matter what. It's just a very simple concept that I don't think this guy understands.
This is the point where a lot of things just stop. It was during New Year's. She decided to hang out with me as I watched anime. During this, I thought that things should really change once the year ends, and it did. I avoided chatting her, which is why I barely reply. Some people claim that she's traumatized, but in my perspective, she's literally open to chat me during these times, which contradicts a lot in my point of view. That includes all the screenshots I showed that started from August. And so it ended on January 21. She, I think, unfriended me or blocked me in Discord.
I want to highlight a few specific screenshots here. First one being this one, reading, "Okay, thank you, but Len, you're my best friend and I don't want to lose you, okay? You mean too much for me to lose you." Maybe the fact that she wasn't giving up on messaging him is because she couldn't see how much he was hurting her, and because, you know, he genuinely meant a lot to her. After all, he was someone that she looked up to. That wouldn't make her any less traumatized. In fact, her level of attachment would probably worsen the ordeal for her. Now we have this screenshot here. I'll let you pause to read because it's a bit long, but I want to remind you that this is a grown man talking to somebody who he knows is far younger than him. I fucking hate how he does this little hee ooh, I'm not telling you, hee I'm just avoiding you, but I won't tell you why, ooh, fucking dance. Like, holy shit, dude. She obviously idolizes him, and he won't even act like a fucking adult and have a conversation about it. He says in this video that the comment about his "lucky I'm in a good mood" message was in reference to the fact that he wasn't supposed to be messaging her, but he did since he was in a good mood. I don't know. Something about that just really seems gross. If you're going to cut contact, tell her exactly why and stick to the no contact. Mute the conversation if you have to. I mean, like, I don't know, there was no reason to do that. But anyways, that's about as much as I can take from this video, and I'll be moving on to my thoughts on the reaction to this.
Lamp oil, rope,
I am, to be honest, severely disappointed in everyone who supported this guy. I mean, in the video itself, he said multiple disgusting things, and I am just shocked people just kind of fucking brushed off like it was nothing. Like, are you deaf? He literally said he enjoyed receiving pictures from a minor, and you're defending him? He's not an uwu victim, he's a fucking criminal. It's honestly disgusting to me how many people went from outraged, rightfully, to forgiving him the moment he put out this dog shit response. It goes to show how easily his audience could be manipulated, and while he does apologize in the video and the victim does say he quote-unquote deserves a second chance, that does not really give you a free pass to continue to support this guy because he still hurt them, he still received illegal images from them, he was still a creep, like, he did what he did. There were even creators with fucking check marks that were showing him support. Like, look at this comment here from Butterfly. Either way, you're still human, Len. You deserve at least a little respect about being human. Hopefully things are okay with you. Like, oh yeah, I guess this guy groomed a child, but he still, you know, deserves respect for being human. What the fuck? I'm sorry, but you lose any ounce of respect I have for you the moment you take advantage of a child. I mean, I guess it's about what I'd expect from someone whose most popular upload is fucking Bakudeku Among Us. But still, it's just so embarrassing how other gacha dramas like the cutie pun tracing whatchamma deal that happened a while back got her so much hate. This guy literally abused children, and gets people saying, ooh, it's okay, I forgive you, you make mistakes, we all do, and then like spam heart emojis or fucking whatever, I don't know. It's not even your place to accept the apology, it's the victim's place. You cannot accept an apology that's not aimed at you, and if the person apologizing did nothing to offend you in particular, you can't accept that because they're not apologizing to you. Imagine being victimized by a larger creator, and when that creator does like a little pity me dance, people start accepting that, you know, apology for you, even if you don't accept it yourself. And I'm not saying that's the case here, but still, it would be infuriating, and the lack of critical thinking here is astounding, but I guess that's what you get when, you know, you're dealing with a lot of kids. The moment you admit to allegations like this, in my opinion, you forfeit your right to have a platform where you can access even more children. It is not necessarily the kid's fault for believing him and accepting his apology because, you know, children's minds are just absolute mush, but people like Len should not have a platform. He is making children's content, and if he's gonna do shit like this and receive inappropriate pictures from them, he shouldn't be able to retain that age demographic as his audience because, like we're seeing here, his fans have just been forgiving him en masse, and if they don't see a problem with what he's doing to other kids, they're not going to see a problem if he or someone else ends up doing it to them or if it happens to one of their friends. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue that people are accepting his response so widely. Granted, pretty much all of the comments are like super negative now, and I'm happy to see some comments were actually edited to say that after learning the extent of what happened, forgiveness is no longer on the table. So I just really hope that by bringing constant attention to situations like this, it can, like, I guess show kids that this type of stuff is not okay at all. And, you know, I don't know, man, I'm just really disappointed in the amount of people that were supporting this guy. But anyways, yeah, that's about it for today's video, and I'll be wrapping it up now.
You already know, about to update my house, bitch.
So yeah, that's about it for today's video. Hopefully you managed to enjoy. If you want to see more of my thoughts on other situations, be sure to check out my channel because I cover topics like this one and others that aren't as gloomy, and be sure to like this video if you liked it. Leave a comment with your opinions down below, and also if you want to support me off platform, my commissions are open, or if you just want to see the art I post, including the speed paint in the backgrounds of these videos ahead of time, you can follow me on my social medias, all linked down below, and that's pretty much all for me today. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you.